What's up, guys? Studfit here, joined by Antilev for another episode of The Rundown. We're going to be talking today about the Wario vs Waluigi Tour. I'm obviously a huge Waluigi fan, so I'm excited to be able to get into a little bit of that conversation. But before we do, I have a lot to think about when it comes to the members. They allow us to be able to do this type of content, whether it's Kart Talk or here. We got even some Stretch of the Week coming up. Already for this brand new track with this Wario shipyard. But huge shout out to the Super Studs. They have come in so clutch in helping us support this channel. The studs are phenomenal. Not duds, amazing too. So we just have so many awesome members. They make this possible, so I never want to skim over this. But guys, we have a winter celebration. It is a 3-part celebration starting with a brand new track and a Wario vs Waluigi Tour, which we'll get into today. We also have, and then of course with that we have some better rewards, and you've already pretty well aware of that. There's no really strategy to that, so we won't really get into that too much today. But then we have a Los Angeles tour, which anytime we have a city tour, sometimes we don't get as excited. I love the LA laps. I'm expecting some type of LA Laps 3, maybe going through the football stadium. Who knows at this point in time? But I think what everyone's most excited about is charging Chuck. And so I was thinking Charlie for a second. Charging Chuck, which as a football fan, I really like. I think in the Mario world, I forget he's like a football, because I don't associate him with the NFL. But I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that they have a new driver. I'm curious, Antilev, any early predictions on skill for our little Chucky?
I mean, I'm hoping something good. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I really hope it's going to be Giant Banana, because the community has been just dying for a new Giant Banana high-end for a long time. It could also be Lucky 7 or Dash Ring, because if you remember, I think was first in the Super Mario World for SNES, and he would run at you, so maybe there's something with a Dash Ring going on there. So I would think, maybe one of those 3 skills. I've heard some other people say Giga Bob Bomb, because he's kind of a big chunky dude. But I'm still really hoping for Giant Banana. I'm saving my rubies for it.
I hope they don't do something silly like, how we had this Merlion last tour, and we were expecting it to have this huge hitbox. If he comes out with a small hitbox, I'm going to be so pissed. I don't know what skill he'll have, but I expect a giant hitbox.
He should be a heavy, yeah.
He should be a heavy driver. But we'll see what happens. Nintendo's been known to give us some curveballs, no pun intended. But I think Sammy mentioned his prediction was Dash Ring. I think even other people have mentioned maybe a brand new skill. I'm with you though. I think it should be Giant Banana. It's an easy way for them to kind of tie in Mario Sunshine, who has a lot of LA tracks with him, and kind of overlap them with each other, just to make Mario Sunshine even more worthless than he already is. But I'm pumped. I think everyone's like, Studfit in. He had a tour review, but he didn't even talk about it. It's I was looking at data mining, which this wasn't on data mine, this was on Twitter, so I obviously didn't even see it the morning of. I'm not a big fan of the tour reveal, but you know what? We had over 1,000. I look at the number of views. We had more people actually look at the tour review on Wednesday than they logged in to see Kart Talk last week. So people like it, but I always miss things, and so I feel like I'm not giving somebody the accurate information or the true reveal, because I feel like I skip stuff or overlook things. So my apologies to missing it, and who knows, maybe we'll have more of that. I think worst case scenario, I might just record every single tour review and give some out to the public and some just for the members, because I just want to keep finding ways to keep giving the members new content. And then finally, we'll finish this winter celebration with a Sky Tour, because that's super wintry, right? We have looks like Beach Wintertime. That winter challenge will go through all 3 tours. We also will have a winter multiplayer challenge to get Black Yoshi, because that's exactly what we need. And then there's a new super driver. So to be honest with you, none of this really sounds too exciting. It does look like that we'll have this black or dark slugger. We'll have to see what that exactly is. But it should be fun. I'm glad that they are doing a celebration, kind of distorts our thoughts of filler tours or that kind of aspect of it. But as long as they keep giving us better token shops and better items, I'm all for it, man. I'm with you. What are your thoughts though in overall? And then by the way, Winter Celebration, we have had some data mining that the Sky Tour will have a light blue Shy Guy. So if you're a big Shy Guy fan, I know Shy Guy Karts, he must love that as well. But Ansel, what are your thoughts on this wintertime celebration?
So yeah, as you say, it looks maybe it's winter for the southern hemisphere, or like our winter in the southern hemisphere, because it looks pretty summery to me. Some nice blue sky tour, and then LA, who everyone associates with snow and ice. I think it's pretty strange because we had a 3-tour celebration culminating in the New Year's Eve, the New Year's 2022 tour. Then we had one new city, and now we're hopping back into another 3-tour celebration. So it's very quick. But as you say, I'm not going to complain about extra token shop, better tier shop, better rewards, more high-end tickets. Yeah, bring it on. I like LA a lot. I like that we're getting a new regional driver. It's been a while. I think the last one was Kamek, and before that maybe Natt. And then Sky Tour. Yeah, I'm not sure about if the character is going to be Cloud Mario or whatever from Super Mario Galaxy, but the track itself has a lot of potential. It's been in a few different versions of Mario Kart. I think originally it was Game Boy Advance. Sky Garden, and then there was also a version for the DS. That's the one I played the most. And then you've got Cloud Top Cruise from Mario Kart 8. Well, I'm sure we won't get the Mario Kart 8 version, but I hope whichever version we do get, it will be like really nice. I see a lot of potential for it to be like a really epic track.
Yeah, it should be fun. We'll see what that has in store. But before then, we have this Wario vs. Waluigi Tour. As I mentioned, I'm a huge Waluigi fan. As you can see over my shoulder, I have a little Waluigi vampire. He is my favorite looking alt in the game, with Yoshi Kangaroo right up there with him. But Waluigi, just because of who he is my absolutely favorite driver. So this is a fun pipe. If you don't have him, might be worth getting in. I think a lot of people avoided him the first time around. I think we were expecting a good skill. Saw the Bob-omb can and said, we could probably pass on that. However, the Vampire Flyer, man. I know a lot of people went into this pipe to get the Vampire Flyer. Myself, I took that tour to 7,700, and I've been absolutely loving every moment of using it in ranked for, I believe it's been 6 tours since it came out. It's had a ranked track, at least one in every single tour. So it has been absolutely crushing it in the ranked. And I think that they did this on purpose. My thought is, hey, if we're going to re-release something this quickly, we better make it super valuable as quick as possible. And that's why I feel like they've kind of overcompensated and tried to put it in ranked as compared to just giving it a lot of tracks. So I think there's kind of 2 paths Nintendo can make something more valuable. One, either give it more tracks, or 2, put it in ranked more often. And for the case of the Vampire Flyer, absolutely obliterating when it comes to the amount of ranked usage. Now, if you don't really care much about rank usage, maybe your ACR is more your jam, it's still been extremely valuable. I know, Antilev, you did a phenomenal segment with Carlos on his stream as he's going for the #1 spot in the game for this tour for All Cup ranking, and we're all rooting for you, Carlos. Good luck, man. But Antilev, kind of tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the Vampire Flyer and Waluigi, and also the Vampire Wings, and we'll kind of start with Waluigi first, then we'll get into Wario together.
Yeah, so like Waluigi Vampire is he's one of the, I think he's top 10 or top 15 driver right now. He's got 20 non-city tracks, so like pretty good coverage. He is hurt a little bit by his Coinbox overlap. 15 of his 20 tracks have Coinbox, and then 2 of the 5 which are not Coinbox have a boomerang high end. So if you have a pretty full inventory, he might not add that much value for you, considering his bad skill. The rest of the pipe, pretty good items. 8-star is a great glider. Vampire Wings is really up and coming. It's pretty okay. Runoff Router is decent. Some it's not fantastic, but it has that great size and has some very interesting and unique coverage, which might fill some gaps in your inventory. And yeah, and the Vampire Flower. I mean, I guess we'll spend a lot of time this video discussing it. So we'll discuss it later. So if I'm pulling this pipe, I'm thinking the gliders are pretty good. The Karts are pretty good. The drivers, personally, I think they're a bit meh, but style-wise, they're both really cool.
Yeah, I think you did a great job. I think overall, for a 9% pipe, this is not bad. The downside, obviously, is you still got 100, so all 9 of those could be in the final 10. That's certainly within the realm of possibility. But overall, I mean, I love to be able to get these vampire wings again, to get the vampire flyer, and for myself, I'm not, like, I have these rubies because of how many great packs they have, but I did do 2 yellow pulls. I got the brown off-roader, and I think I got Wario Cowboy, and that was it. So I was happy with that. I mean, Wario Cowboy is nothing spectacular. I'm with you, but I think he looks awesome. It's actually, I feel bad he didn't get a cooler. I remember back then we were hoping for some kind of boomerang or some Coinbox because of being a cowboy, stealing coins. That I think there was definitely a gaffe there when it came to what they could have done with him. But overall, he looks cool. But I'm never pulling for somebody for a driver for the looks. It's always a nice bonus. I did get to Waluigi Vampire already, so not a big deal there. But off-roader, great size. I know that if you want a cart to be a highlight, you can pull that one and take it to a high level and kind of build your portfolio around it. But this Vampire Flyer, that is by far the number one option. And then, yes, 8-bit star. Any of these 8-bit items really are pretty valuable. So I think in this pipe, it's fine for a YOLO, but I think we have a lot of other good pipes in this tour. And then we'll see what comes up. You might want to start saving for this Charging Chuck. We don't know how he's going to be released. If he could be maybe like King Bob-omb, where he's in a special pipe. But my guess is he most likely is going to be in a 100 pipe, and you're not going to have enough rubies for it unless you are a whale. So I think overall this is, I'd probably put it at a 5 out of 10. It's a decent pipe, but not worth writing home about. Good. You know what? This slide will probably look really shocking because these are the only 2 new items. And we're used to, we've been seeing 8 new items a tour. It's nice to just have 2. It's just like absolute. I think that's one of the reasons why, at least on our Discord server, seeing so many people invest in things, because there's nothing new to invest in except for these 2 gliders. So everyone's putting it into carts. Everyone's putting it into drivers. These 2 gliders, I will say, we had 2 members on our server invest Wario Mustache all the way to level 7. I think it was Ready and ThisBeChris took it to level 7 already. I think they both invested in Wario Mustache. I hadn't seen anyone take Waluigi's Mustache to 7. I think there's a reason why. I think some of the initial thought process is based on the tracks given to Wario Mustache. He might have the better value. I think overall, they look like these blimps you'd see on the Macy's Day Parade, where it's not the actual nose, it's not the actual mustache, but just like a blow-up version of it that's just extremely large. So which I absolutely love, that level of detail. You can kind of see the little stretch marks where it's you can kind of see it's some kind of inflatable. But besides the look, Antilev, tell us a little bit about the value and what kind of track coverage they have.
Okay, so they're both ugly as hell. It's interesting because indeed they're both the only new items we have, and they're not in pipes. They're both I think they're both commemorative packs, right? So you have to buy them. But they both have really amazing starts. I mean, look at the tracks on Wario's Mustache. All the new Wario shipyards, 2 of the new Bowser Castle tracks, and then the RMX Ghost Valley 1RT, which is, so that's 6 pretty hard paywall tracks out of 7. That's an amazing start. And Waluigi's Mustache is almost as good. It also has 2 of the new tracks. It's got the 2 Vanilla Lake 2s, which are also pretty paywalled. So I haven't bought any packs or anything yet this tour, but I might have to look at my inventory. I think actually for my account, Waluigi's mustache would be an upgrade on 4 tracks out of those 7.
Wow.
If I would upgrade it. Yeah, so that's
on your main account.
On my main account, yeah.
Wow.
And so that's, I mean, look at those tracks. But I can totally see why somebody would take Wario's mustache, for example, straight away. I went really hard on the Meowser tour, New Year's tour, so those Bowser Castle tracks I have pretty well covered. But if you didn't and you don't have good coverage for them, I mean, it has an amazing start. Like, if you have an advanced account and these things give you like 5+ upgrades, if you would take them to like, say, level 6, go for it, because they're new, they will get buffed. They like to buff the hell out of items that are brought in versus tours. So and overlap wise, not much. Wario's mustache, only 2 other gliders where it has 3 overlaps. That's Candlelight Flight and Black Cat Parafoil, and those are both not very common ones. And Waluigi's mustache, also only 2 items where it has 3 overlaps. That's Vampire Wings and Aurora Balloons, so also not like the most common of items. So I think you're pretty safe from overlaps there as well.
Oh, and then so I found out KnightRoso was the last person to update or take Wario's mustache to 7. So I'm with you, man. It makes sense. I will say I'm always a little skeptical of these commemorative items and what kind of value they'll get. It seems like, at least in 2021, there was like this commemorative curse where nothing seemed to get like extreme value, whereas in 2020. All these commemorative items seem to have amazing value. When you think about Happy Ride, and you thought about all the different 2020 glider and some of these other gliders, other commemorative items that we saw in 2020 that got great value. It just, I do think, it being in this tour, being the only new items, it might have some long-term value. I think initial value, great, phenomenal. I mean, these are, as you mentioned, all paywall tracks, all hard tracks, but will be permanent. It's not like a city track. It's not a track that I don't think this is going to be the rare tracks. I think these are going to be pretty well circulated. I think sometimes people were wondering, is maybe Bowser's Castle or another track going to be like a Merry Mountain? I don't think that's. I think that has to be very
they're regular. I mean, Bowser's Castle is now back for the 3rd time.
3rd time in a row.
It's,
they're
just going to be. They're regular retro tracks. I don't.
So if you don't have coverage on that, feel free to invest. And plus, you can already have a level 3 right off the bat. If you're willing
exactly.
to get it.
It's not a €20 or like a 45 ruby pack. They're not that expensive. But I am never an advocate of investing hard early on an item, because it's basically gambling if you're just doing it for like 1 or 2 ranked tracks. So unless you're going like all in for an ACR, I usually don't advise invest on a new item, unless like a lot of the starting tracks. So the last item I went early on was, aside from Meowser Tour, where I basically went on all the new items because I'm going for ACR, but the last one was the Silver King, because right out of the gate, 8 tracks, I think 6 of them for me were an upgrade. So I went level 6595 right away, just because even if it bombs, I'm still getting 6 upgrades from my account with it, So yeah, you really have to look at your own account and see what you have, but I totally understand if people are going hard on these things early.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had a pretty long rant in our server this morning, and I'm just kind of saving it for some point in time on today's episode, just because I do feel pretty passionate about it. And it's something I've learned a lot here recently, and I think that's, it kind of alludes back, kind of stemmed really from the conversation you had with Carlos about the Vampire Flyer and investing. And I think overall, one of the things that we sometimes can fall into, at least for myself, is I'll throw 2 tickets here, 3 tickets there, 5 tickets there, to kind of take something from a one level, maybe level 4, level 5, taking it up to level 5 or 6, just kind of getting a little bit more of a boost, and mostly just because of ranked. Ranked is kind of stemming a lot of that, and I realized like last week would be a perfect example. When we were in Singapore, I put I think 5 tickets to take the red B Dasher Mark II, to take it from I think it was at 4, take it to 6. 6 is a good, for a whale, it's a below average acceptable thing. And so oftentimes, in ranked, I don't want to be like 20th or below on my friends list. So I just try to kind of keep it competitive. And I don't like having a great score with a low loadout. So I just kind of throw a couple tickets there. But at the same track, I believe there was Silver King. And it was sitting at level 1. And I was like, you know what? This one's already at 4. I could just take it to 5. And then a couple days later, I was like, I'll just take it to 6. I haven't done that track yet. And so I think I would highly recommend, and I'm just using myself as an example, if I would have looked at the Bama Gerbs and I would have made a little bit smart long-term investment, I would have just thrown all my tickets at Silver King, because Silver King is in ranked again. And this week I just said, forget it. I'm tired of trying to fight it off and trying to resist the Silver King, and because everyone's doing it. So I'm like, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. But it's gotten to the point now where I'm fighting it, and I'm fighting it for absolutely no reason. So I took it to I now have it at 6 and 2/5, or I have two leftover tickets that I'm going to hope for my shop. I'll hopefully get 3 cart tickets between now and the next 13, 12 days, whatever it is. But I'm going to triple and cap it. So I've already put the triple and cap in it. I have it at 700. But for me, it's like I wish I had those tickets I used last week back. And if I had just done my due diligence, and really it just comes down to laziness. If any, I think whales actually do. Whales like myself. I'll just use myself as an example. I can be sometimes more lazy than I should be, and I just kind of throw tickets here or there. I think that free to play, Gold Pass, they might do a little bit more research and kind of utilize the resources that they do and try to kind of be as resourceful as possible. And that's really, most of my content is speaking to those people who do use the sheet. So I might already be preaching the choir. But if you are out there and you are not using the Bama Gerbs, you are not using the different spreadsheets that we have out there. I know Antilev, you have a tweak of one as well. There's so many great resources. You should use them. And you should always, I guess, and so for myself, my pledge is before I even use 2 tickets on something, put my inventory into Bama Gerbs. I know it takes 10 minutes, whatever it is, but just put it in there and just make sure, if for me, that cutoff might be, if something gives me 3 tracks or 4 tracks. I think for you, Antilev, your line might be 4 or 5 tracks. Or how do you use the Bama Gerbs when it comes to investing, like I just mentioned?
So yeah, basically what I'm looking for is if I take an item to level 6 and double cap it, how many upgrades, well actually now maybe double 7, but level 7 more, how many upgrades do I get? And then so you basically look at all the tracks where you have that coverage, filter them out, see what's left and what has the most coverage on those tracks that are left over. So I think like right now for me, the Tanuki cart is the one I'm going to focus on next. It would give me 9 upgrades if I'll max it out. My shop is kind of dead, so I'm too low on card tickets to do that. And on the other side, I'm also considering like triple capping. So like if you can triple cap something and get 18 or 20 upgrades, that's actually better than double capping 2 cards that only give you 6 or 7 upgrades. So that's also a legitimate thing. But yeah, it's basically about getting the most bang for your buck. If you can invest in one item that gives you a lot of coverage, it's better than investing in 3 items where you have to use 3 times the tickets. So yeah, we've done this a couple times with Carlos and his inventory for going for ACR, and there are times where it's better to take a level 1 item to level 7 and cap only that than taking like 2 or 3 items from like level 5 or level 6 to level 7, because going 6 to 7 is 5 tickets already. Going 5 to 7 is 8 tickets. Going 1 to 7 is only 14 tickets. It's not that many more. But I'd rather take 1 item from 1 to 7 than 2 items from 5 to 7, for example.
Awesome point. Yeah, so leverage those resources. I know that I'm making that commitment this year. But of course, to go full circle, these are new items. And so, the one caveat, at least in my opinion, where there is a little bit more risk. I wouldn't say massive risk by any chance. But, in this case, you have ranked and you have a couple of these tracks. A good thing like Wario's Mustache gives you access to all 3 tracks, and so that investment is multiplied times. You now have 6 tracks where you have this awesome glider for All Cup ranking, and that allows you to be able to do better in this tour if you're trying to go for All Cup ranking, and it's going to help you long term anyway. So with all that being said, full circle. To kind of take a look at these gliders, use the spreadsheets, and do whatever you possibly can to make the right long term investment for your account. All right, we'll go through these non-spotlights pretty quick. There have been some changes, though. None for drivers, but when we look at carts, we got 2 new carts in here added. The Carrot Cart, which I know we've been longing to have as part of the permanent pipe. Womp womp. And then the Black Cat Cruiser, which actually I think we were all pretty excited about it when it first released last summer, since it was in the week 2 pipe. Really, it's like the best item there, being the new item. And, we were kind of coming off of Roundby Rider, and I think it was even right after the Silver King. So we were expecting good things from it, but I don't think it really ever hit the the peak that these other carts did. But it's nice that it's in there. It's really cool. It's a new cart that'll give you some coverage. It's, some newer type track coverage compared to the Carrot Cart, which is probably not going to help you at all. And then finally, when it comes to gliders, you got the Dragon Wings, which I didn't even realize wasn't in there. I just expected it to, because it used to be, in my mind, I still see it as an old school glider, but obviously a great glider. In fact, I think as you were working with Carlos, it made sense for him to, I think, triple uncap or double uncap?
Triple cap, but yeah.
Over the Dry Bowser umbrella, over some really good gliders.
Over the Black Raid Sail, yeah.
Black Raid Sail. It makes more sense for All Cup ranking for him to invest in triple uncap Dragon Wings right now than it would be for Black Great Sail. How crazy is that? So, great point there. Certainly one that you might already have, but worth leveling up. I know I have mine double uncapped at level 6. We haven't really seen it a lot from pipes or packs, and since level 7 came out. So it's kind of just sitting there at level 6. I'm not going to throw 5 tickets on it. But it's worth looking at, or we're hoping to try to get. I think the main one here is these snow crystals, kind of like that Black Cat Cruiser. This is the one that's going to give you some newer coverage, and it's pretty useful. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I have mine double uncap that I did for my little penguin exploration in Vancouver, but it's been wonderful to me. But again, every card, every glider, if you invest in it, it's going to be worth it to you. So I don't even like necessarily saying that, but I think it's a great glider compared to these other ones on here. To get this one, Black Great Sail, Starry Great Sail, Black Toby balloons. Those are kind of my favorite that I'm really hoping for when I'm pulling on this pipe. And then, of course, the Silver Surf Sailor at the top of that list, maybe right there neck and neck with Black Great Sail. Any thoughts on what was added to these plunger pipes?
The Black Cat Cruiser it's a little bit pushed up there by its ranked appearances, but it is a top 15 card. It's a small card, so we're in a meta right now where bigger is better. Everybody wants to have big cards, so these small cards kind of get ignored, but it's a pretty decent card. And then Dragon Wings is really I was talking to Carlos and he's like, it's a really old one. I should invest in one of the new ones. But we were talking about that or Black Ray Sail or Dry Bowser Umbrella. There are a lot of these items are also getting very old. I think they're all many year old. So it's not like these are getting new tracks or getting in ranked every week anymore. We're just talking about pure ACR coverage, and you can just look at the coverage and see what looks better for you. And Dragon Wings is a great item for almost any account. It's got 24 non-city tracks or something like that. I think it's really good. One of the top gliders in the game. It just doesn't show up in ranked very often, so that's why it's fallen off the rankings. But coverage-wise, definitely still a top 3, I think, or top 5 at least glider.
Yeah, the Neo Bowser City, I think, is since it's back this tour is
it has all 3 Neo Bowser Cities. Indeed.
It's bringing it to the forefront there, especially for All Cup ranking there. But yeah, worth taking note of. Cross your fingers, hope to get the snow crystals. Then we also have the Wario vs Waluigi Pipe 2 with 6 spotlights, 9%. So obviously some very interesting items. Peach Happy comes back, which we absolutely love. The Lucky 7 skill. Her coverage has been a little sus, but we absolutely love the skill there. The Jade Hop Rod, which I think a lot of us were excited about. You might have got it. You might not have, because it was, I believe that was the one that was in the 100 pipe along with Ninja. So those who pulled for Ninja, that and that original pipe, you might have enjoyed that. But other than that, you might not even have it. We've obviously had the Dark Hop Rod and the Crimson Hop Rod in some other pipes or other packs, commemorative being obviously the most common there. But Jade being probably the most rare of the 3. And then the Springtime Crane. I believe this is the first time since it was released in the summertime. But obviously it's had some really really crazy buffs here in the last couple months. Extremely valuable, but if you were like me, you just had a level 1 just sitting there. Now, maybe if I had kind of taken the same thought process that I did with Silver King and kind of looked at my Bam and Gerbs and just said, hey, I'd rather throw 14 tickets here and take it to level 7 as compared to 4 over here, 5 over there, and really kind of double down. I think it could be worth it. And then, of course, the Sakura Quickshaw, you saw basically all fall long. It was in the top 10. So we'll have to see if it's still in the top 10, but it's been pretty valuable. I think overall, this one's probably a 6 on kind of that 10-point scale compared to the 5 for the week 1. But I think Mario Happy kind of takes it down. The Cheap Masks, a lot of people have. It's been permanent in the pipe. It's been around for a long time. But still a very, very useful glider, unless you're Frenzy Fans guy who hates this glider. But Antilev, what are your thoughts on the week 2 pipe?
Yeah, I don't really see a bit. Like, there are some decent items in here. The Springtime Crane it's a decent glider. It's got 18 non-city tracks, which is good, but not like elite. It has a lot of overlap with 8-bit Fireflower and Glinting Glider, which I think a lot of you have at a decent level. So that's maybe a reason why it kind of went under the radar. Cheap Mask is a really nice glider as well. Secure Quickstar is a good card. Peach Happy, well, very controversial, but I mean, still considering the other pipes we have, the special pipes, the fact that next tour we have a new original driver which you want to save for, I don't see a lot of reason to go into this pipe, except if you need help with next week ranked. The new Wario Shipyard T track that's on next week ranked is absolutely brutal. The top shelf for the gliders, I think 4 out of the 6 high end are banner only. It is one of the toughest top shelves I've ever seen, and Peach Happy is the only plus skill driver on that track as well. Wow. So if you like my free to play account, I don't have a single top shelf item for that track. Like all mid shelves or lower. So if you need help there, that's maybe the reason why you want to go into this pipe. But other than that, on its own, I don't really see a lot of value. Jade Opera is not so valuable. Mario Happy is not really interesting. Yeah. So for me, it's a pass.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people low on rubies, and I think people are going to be swayed to pull on whatever they want to pull on. But I think most of these pipes are going to be pulling from your gut. At least these week 1 and week 2, you'll be pulling for favorite items that you think look cool. But really, I think from the meta perspective, Vampire Flyer from week 1 and maybe Springtime Crane or Secure Quick Shop from the meta might be a good one to pull on. But I think where everyone's going to be focusing in on are these special pipes, these Wario team pipe and Waluigi team pipe, these special 50 pipes that most likely will be released on Sunday night. We got some interesting stuff in that we have a total of 6 coin boxers, 3 in each pipe, along with some very unique items. We'll kind of start with this Wario team pipe. We do know that there are no spotlights, so whatever you're going to probably pull. Well, maybe that's a good place to start. So, what do you think the odds are for these pipes, knowing that there's no spotlights?
I'm gonna go with 1-1-1, which is pessimistic, but the items are very good for the most part. So I think it would be a bit optimistic to assume we'd be getting a 6 high-end pipe here. So I am gonna guess, I'm gonna set my expectations low and say we're just getting a standard 3 high ends in 50, 1 of each driver, card, and glider.
Yeah, I think I've been wrong with each of my last 3 or 4 predictions for these special pipes. It just seems like whatever I say, they just go the opposite direction. And again, I'm not that narcissistic to think they even watch my stuff, but it does seem like it's just like going the opposite direction. So I've been pessimistic and then optimistic and then pessimistic. I think last time I don't think I was still under. So I think at this point in time, I'm gonna take 2 drivers, 1 cart, 1 glider, and just call it a 4 high end pipe. I do feel like 4 high ends is great for a 50 pipe when you have coin boxers and have some of these interesting items. So going into this, looking at the Wario, we have Rosalina Swimwear, Mario Hakama, and King Bob-omb Gold. Obviously, Mario Hakama being out the longest, and most people already have had him. He's not as useful as other Coinbox drivers. Still not bad, but King Bob-omb has had his limelight. He used to be the king of 2022. But Rosalina Swimwear, she's got a great hitbox. Definitely worth investing in as well. I think all of these items, except for maybe the Silver Surfmaster and the Gold Home Field Glider, and I'll throw the pumpkin card in there too. I think those are the three other items that you're aiming for. I have all these Coinboxers, and I think a lot of people who are playing the meta level already have the Coinboxers at level 7, or at least you might have a level 6. I doubt you're going to be. And I think this is again another great set of pipes, perfect for newer players. You guys are winning. If you're a newer player and you're pulling and you're seeing these pipes are for you. 100% pull on them. This is a great way to level up, get new things. This is great bang for your buck. Think about them as like the clearance aisle, but yeah, still have awesome value, awesome items, and I think that's why I got so excited and why my channel originally started with just pulling on special pipes, because I was playing catch up. I started, about 6 months after everybody else, and now no longer playing catch up. If I'm pulling on these pipes, I'm trying to avoid all these Coinboxers, and I'm trying to get some of these newer items. But for me, none of these items in this Wario team pipe are worth leveling up in this pipe. But then we have the Waluigi team pipe. Obviously, Dry Bones Gold, been around for a very long time, along with Peach Vacation. Kamek obviously being the newest, and that might be one. This is probably one of your better bets to get Kamek. Who knows? Especially if they have two high-end drivers in there. I think some of the other items that stick out, obviously, is that the Dream Glider and Zoom Broom, if you like the way it feels. But again, if you're going in for it and you don't have it, just know it drives a little funky. But then, this Star Great Sail is a great glider. I'm not a big fan of the Lime Tea Coupe. A lot of us have the gold items from all these gold pipes that we've had for. So I think really the Chemex items are the items that you're most likely going to be the most attracted to with the Star Great Sail added on there. I think overall these two pipes are relatively even. And so, what are your thoughts on these two pipes? And are you going to be pulling in your regular account or with your Gold Pass only?
Yeah. So I think the fact the Waluigi team pipe has the full Kamek set shades it for that one. For a lot of people who only got Kamek or didn't clear that pipe, it's a nice chance to get all three of those items. All three are really good, and I mean, there's almost no bad items in this pipe. I mean, you've got 3 Coinbox drivers. Gold Bones he's seen better days, but he still has a lot of coverage. Peach Vacation, I think she's super underrated. She still has 5 exclusives as a Coinbox driver, which is more than most. Lime Tea Coupe, it's a small card, but it has some interesting coverage as well. The gliders are all really good. I'm not going to pull either of these pipes on my main account because I have all the drivers already, and pulling for specific items in a non-spotlight pipe not really a good idea. My free-to-play account, I don't have Vacation and I don't have Swimwear, so I was thinking, maybe I pull on one of them to try to get those and then also get some dupes. But the thing is, I already have the Kamek set on my play because I cleared that pipe. And actually, now that they tease the next tour, I'm probably not going to pull because I want to have 450 rubies when Charging Chuck comes. If he has a really good item, I don't want to miss one, so I'm probably going to save. If you've got spare rubies, they're both good pipes. Again, of course, it depends on the odds. If it's 1-1-1, it's maybe a bit I don't know. If you have a newer account and you have a lot of rubies, yeah, go for it. Let it rip. There's some really good items in here. Gold Pumpkin card is tied for the most coverage of any non-city coverage of any card in the game right now. Silver Surfmaster is in pretty much every ranked track ever nowadays. So that pipe's really good too. Rosalina Swimmer, people give her crap for a lot of overlaps, but she has decent tracks and she's a heavy, so overlaps don't actually matter that much. They're decent pipes. It's just a question of what you need and what your ruby situation is.
Nailed it, man. Nailed it. Man. I really don't think I'm going to be pulling on this pipe, either one of them. Will you be pulling at all with your main?
No, my main I definitely won't pull. I also want to save, and I have all of the items, and there's nothing there where I'm I need dupes of them, and even if I did, like I said, trying to get a specific item on a non-spotlight pipe is just, well, we know how that goes. We can see some pretty extreme examples.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Yeah. Bullet to your head, or gun to your head, which one would you have to pull on if you absolutely had to?
I'd probably go in for the second one.
Luigi.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that one's just a slight more attractive. But I mean, man, the Silver Surf Sailor and the Gold Pumpkin cart look pretty good. But man, I think that
I would say if Gold Pumpkin cart was like a normal sized cart, I might go for the first one. That's how close they are.
Okay. I like the caveats. That's awesome. All right, we'll get into the packs. We got a lot of packs to talk about, man. However, not all of them are that great. In fact, we got 2 45 ruby pack and 2 90 packs this week. We'll start there. I think anytime you have a driver in a 45 ruby pack, that's good because, worst case scenario, even if you're getting coins, you're at least getting 6,000 coins versus 500. And you know how drivers run this game. So leveling up a driver in general is always good. However, both of these drivers are basically useless. No, I feel I don't want that to be the emphasis, but I don't want useless to be the emphasis. But I do want to let you guys know that these 2 drivers, I don't have to tell you this, are not going to be as useful in the meta. And so, and if you're buying a pack, you don't have to you don't have me to tell you the meta, these 2 drivers are not worth the money you're putting into it. I don't have the fairy at level 7. I'm probably not even going to get it at all. I will say I did get these 2 90 packs, which we'll talk to about now. We have the Mario Halloween and the Pumpkin Cart, as well as Peach Explorer and the Romby Runner. I did not have the Romby Runner at all. Got that pack 3 times to take Peach Explorer. I think she's now like 6 and, 3/5. And then Mario Halloween, I had him at level 1 since, or actually I think I might have had 2 or 3. Just because of the special pipe he was in, but hasn't been super useful. His Pumpkin Cart didn't have it at a high level, but I wanted the rubies, and I felt like this was pretty decent value. So I got both of those 290 packs 3 times, but the rest that I left them alone. And then in week 2, guys, this is rough. This is really rough. I don't know what I'm gonna do week 2, but none of these are considered really a stud pack at all. Usually I can kind of find 2 and 2. Can't really even find it. I will say I kind of made like a stud minus and a stud plus because I didn't want to have just 6 duds. So try to make it a little bit more fun. So we put Cat Todd there at a stud plus. Kind of made it an orange color just for fun. Kind of made Halloween, since he has been not as useful and the cart's been basically not useful at all. Made it a stud minus, but I think anytime you have a Lucky 7 driver, I still feel like you have to give it at least a little bit of a stud. So putting that one to stud minus for next week. Super Mario SNES. I have him at level 7. I rarely ever use him. Got Cat Todd. He's got a couple tracks where he's helpful. But again, it's just a matter of time before Meowser takes him over, or Chemex take him over, or somebody else takes him over. Or a new Coinbox, or who knows, Charging Chuck and his brand new skill could take it over. Who knows, but anytime you have a not great skill, I think he's above average, but nothing worth writing home about. And then Wario Hiker, who's probably right up there with Waluigi Bus Driver, is like one of the most pipe available drivers in the game. In another pack, he's probably been in two packs in like the last 3 or 4 tours. It's kind of getting scary how much they want us to have him. But I will say the Silver Bullet Blaster's fun little cart, not very available if you like small carts that look really cool. And then finally we got Cat P as our good friend Puffy, her favorite driver in the game. Along with this, is it the Galaxy Egg? What's the name of the cart?
The Dreamy Egg.
Dreamy Egg. With the not so dreamy coverage.
It's tiny.
And it's super tiny hitbox, guys. So you probably don't need anything from me. I will say I might get the Dreamy Egg. I don't even know. But overall, a lot of packs. If you needed rubies, which a lot of us were low, this is a great time to stock up. A lot of great access to rubies to be able to fill out your inventory if you need it. But before we get to commemorative packs and premium challenge, what are your thoughts, Antilev, on these packs?
I'm not buying anything. The only pack here which I'm like the least bit interested in would be the Rambi Runner and Peach Explorer, which is actually one of the best packs I think we've ever seen. This is the first time Rambi is returning since its debut. It's been a top 5 card in the game that entire time, often number 1. And Peach Explorer is it's got the crazy coverage. So that's a really good pack. I don't use Peach Explorer, and I have Rambi already for months at level 7, so I'm not gonna buy it. The rest of them, I don't really see anything interesting here. I don't have Halloween Mario, but he would not really add anything for me, so I'm not interested by that. And I think the 45 Ruby packs, there's a lot of sort of fan service there. Those are drivers where they don't have like a good value coverage-wise or skill-wise, but I see a lot of people talking on like Reddit, on Discord. I love these drivers. I want to have them. There's a lot of fans of Kato. There's a lot of fans of Super Mario SNES. Aurora Rosalina is one of the most like sought after dupes in the game, just for like her cool costume, and Very Daisy kind of the same. So it gives people a chance to get like a favorite cool looking driver that they like. From a usefulness perspective, yeah, Cat Toad is a top 15 driver, but as you say, I mean, he's always under threat of losing his non-Coinbox tracks or whatever. And yeah, the less said about the 90 Ruby packs in week 2, the better. So I'm not buying anything this tour. I might get one of the commemorative packs. I might get the Waluigi mustache, but honestly, I'm not really tempted.
Yeah, we've already kind of talked about the commemorative packs. I think overall, some of us whales, it's a great time to not spend money on the game. We've been spending it for the last going on here our 3rd year. That might be nice. I'm trying to like see how little I can spend in the game, just because I don't need any of this stuff, guys. And like my coin count keeps going up because my shop's closed down for the last week. I know you're the same way, and it seems like a lot of the community is too. It's like, what is 600,000 ruby or coins doing in my account if I can't spend on anything? So I don't know. I'm kind of want to just boycott Nintendo and just say, hey, you know what? Thanks for the packs, but I don't need Aurora. I don't need Fairy. I'm good. You can look at my spending habits, and they're going to go down, and you can look at that data and try to make me happy or not. Either give me some tickets or not. Leave me alone. So anyway, that's my perspective. I don't know how you feel about that, but I will say Premium Challenge and Premium Challenge Plus, 2 thumbs up from Studfit when it comes to general value in the game. You get some. I'm not too excited about Waluigi Bus Driver, but to get the tickets in the Premium Challenge Plus specifically, that is a much must purchase. Take my money. If you had it every tour, I would buy it every tour. No matter how much of a whale or not a whale I would be, I think that is by far the best bang. Because in this game, tickets, I think, or the high end tickets are the most important resource in my opinion. And so from that perspective, if you're allowing me to be able to buy those, I will buy them every day of the week. So I don't know. From my perspective, that's my thought process on it. The Premium Challenge, like the Natt Plus, I guess the minus. It's above average, but I think for the price, what you're getting, still decent value. Anything you want to add to that, Antilev?
Nope.
Alrighty. We got some interesting buffs, not an extreme amount of buffs, because we don't have that many new items. So all of these brand new tracks all get items that have been around for a while that are going to get this buff. And so we'll start off with Luigi Vacation, our brand new Boom Ouija. Luigage, and he comes out with 3 new tracks. I nailed it, man. Don't give me that. He's got 3 new tracks with Cheap Cheap, Island, R, and T, highlighting those with what would be WS? Is that Waluigi
Shipyard? Shipyard.
Yep.
That's the new one.
So he's got 4 cities, obviously, from last tour, with a total of 7 total non-city tracks. So pretty good for him. I think overall that's not a bad start. You're coming out of a city tour, and you're getting 3 new tracks. 2 of which are, I think, tracks that you may or may not have good coverage on with the Cheap Cheap Islands. We haven't seen that track in a while. We've seen it every so often, maybe every 2 months. But I think it's a great track to have a boomerang on. I think the Kangaroo Yoshi seems to be kind of highlighting those. You got some Peach Happy overlap there, but I think you'll probably cover some of that. But I'll get into the drivers with 2 buffs. These would be Penguin Toadette. You'll see here our number 1 driver in the game, Yoshi Kangaroo. He's got 22 non-city tracks, 11 cities. A lot of cities, but 22 non-city tracks there. It's good for him if you like Boombox and you got the time. He's definitely worth the investment. I think my own perspective, and maybe we'll get into this when we get into the top 10, but Boomerang is tricky, man. You really have to have the time. Waluigi Vampire sees an unexpected burst into our top 10. He now has 22 non-city tracks, 4 cities, and it seems like Nintendo, basically across the board, they've made this pretty consistent in the last, year and a half. If a Bob-omb Cannon, I think probably since Dry Bowser Gold, if a Bob-omb Cannon driver comes out, he or she has great coverage. Does not necessarily mean ranked access or anything like that, but just great raw coverage. And so from that perspective, we're looking at Peach Explorer. Now here we got Birdo Black. Now you got a Vampire Waluigi. I think overall these guys are going to have great coverage. I don't necessarily see anyone from a meta perspective only investing in them. It is a tough skill to get great high number of points off of, but worst case scenario, he's getting up there in coverage and worth keeping an eye on. And then of course Yellow Pit Crew Toad, I think everyone's new little favorite super driver. He's got 16 non-city tracks, which is phenomenal for a super, and 0 cities, so that's even better. So great news there. Of course, it's Calamari Desert 2 and 2R, so these are tracks that you might already have a Coinbox or 2, but anytime we're getting access to Giant Banana, I think everyone's jumping for joy. We got a lot of drivers with 1 buff, so without getting too far into it, we got Catalina, 13, 0 cities. You love the 0 cities. We talked a little bit about our Cat Toad with 20 non-city tracks, 10 cities there. To kind of highlight things, let's just kind of skip around. Your Mario Halloween, as you mentioned, it's not super value. He's got 18 non-city tracks, 3 cities. Saddle of You, man, I really love when I look at his his coverage and see what overlap is with other drivers. He's one that sticks out as he happens to be the one Mario that Nintendo gives good buffs to. He is number 12 on our list. He's got 19 non-city tracks, 1 city. You see Meowser gets a nice buff there, so he still has 0 cities. Phenomenal hit for him. 12 non-city tracks with the Wario Shipyard R. We have, as we mentioned, Peach Explorer. Keeps getting buffs. She is up to a total of 33 total tracks, 5 of which are cities, 28 non-city tracks. Number 10 on our list, we got Peach Happy, who, as we mentioned, a little controversial, but she now has 29 total tracks, 20 non-cities, 9 cities. Good for her. She is number 3 on our list. And then we have Penguin Mario at number 4. He's got 24 non-city tracks, 6 cities. And of course, he's in rank this week. And I think that's the main part about our top 10 is you can make fun of it for not having as many coin boxers, not having as many top skills. But when you look at it as a power ranking, what drivers are the most likely to be in ranked next week? Here it is. Here's exactly why we have this list. Penguin Mario is in ranked again with this buff from Waluigi's Shipyard. So nice to have him with 30 total tracks. You got Shy Guy Ninja getting a nice little buff here on the reverse version. He's got 30 tracks as well. So he's literally tied there with Penguin Mario. But obviously he does have 2 less cities, and he's got the much better skill. Let's skip around past these other Warios and kind of talk a little about these super drivers. We did have the light blue Pit Crew Toad, now up to 10 total tracks, 1 of which is a city. Pink Yoshi, up to 18 total tracks with 13 non-cities. Purple Koopa Free Running, the brand new one, 0 cities, you gotta love that, and 7 non-city tracks. So, Antilev, what do you think about these drivers that just got buffed?
So a couple things discussed. Luigi Vacation, he had a pretty rough start in his first tour, but he's got some nice buffs here. 2 of his 3 tracks, new tracks, are non-Coinbox. Those are the cheap islands. Cheap Sheep Island T has Yoshi Kangaroo, but Cheap Sheep Island R does not. So that's a really nice buff for him as well. Yoshi Kangaroo, there's a reason why he's number one. I mean, he's in ranked. He's getting really into the really top tier of coverage now. He still has a few buffs left to see. I think there's 14 tracks which he hasn't seen yet. And he's got the great skill. Yellow Pit Crew Toad, he's got 2 buffs with the 16 tracks, which is a lot for a super driver, and he's got a great skill. Okay, so Calamar Desert 2R has 5 Coinbox drivers, so that is probably not an interesting buff. But Calamar Desert 2 has only 2 Coinbox drivers, and they are Party Time Pauline and Gold Drybone. So if you like my free to play, I've got both of them, but I've got them at level 1, and I'm not going to invest in them. So I mean, I'm definitely going to use a level 6 Yellow Pit Crew Toad there. Other buffs, I mean, Meowster got a new. He's up to now, I think, 6 exclusive Coinbox tracks, and only his 3rd tour. He's the only Coinbox driver on Wario Shipyard R. So he only got 1 buff, but it's a huge one. He will break. I think he will break the top 15 or even top 10 next tour. Ninja is getting still crazy buffs. Purple Koopa free running. I don't know what they're trying to do with him. They're making him ice themed or what, because he has all the RMX Vanilla Lakes, and now he got a Vanilla Lake 2 variant. So, and then there was one other thing that I wanted to mention.
Anything you want to add about Shy Guy Ninja and his buff, or Peach Happy?
Peach Happy, it's a good one to get. She's the only plus skill driver on Wario Shipyard T. That's a nice one. As a Teleview Mario, I forgot to mention, he's up to 19 tracks. He has 11 non-Coinbox tracks, so that is crazy. Yeah, so I'm honestly, I'm not really into going hard on Lucky 7 drivers, but I think Teleview is a pretty safe investment at this point. But yeah.
Yeah, I love some Saddle of You. I didn't realize it was 11. I was, I have him at 7, 11, 1190, and I'm using him in ranked. I'm using him in all cup ranking. I'm having a lot of fun with him. It's nice that they're giving Mario some nice buffs. Usually they kind of throw Mario some shade, but he looks awesome, and they're giving the buffs. Makes you wonder if it's not like Nintendo trying to shade Mario, and Nintendo just trying to give buffs to people who were pulled less. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So just because I think Frenzy fans, one of the reasons we had the Tuxedo bet to begin with is there was this conspiracy theory that Mario was not getting buffed as much as other drivers. But maybe it's just like how we talked about, where if the less someone pulls on something, the more Nintendo's going to buff that. Now, I wouldn't say necessarily people are not pulling on Saddle of You, but maybe they didn't pull on Saddle of You as much as Tuxedo, or that maybe in comparison, maybe people weren't pulling that much at that point in time. Who knows? But he has great value right now, which you absolutely love. Let's talk about carts. No cart is buffed 3 times. We have a lot of carts that were buffed twice. We have Cactar, which jumped up in our list. It's now up to 21 non-city tracks, 2 cities. Pretty good. I think a lot of people, kind of to our point earlier, we were talking when we were at the commemorative items that were brand new, and we were just talking about, hey, these items are at 4, these items are at 3, so it's easier to just kind of throw tickets on that versus taking something from 1. I think that the 2 that are culprits for that would be the Cactar and the Yellow Off-Roader, because they've been in packs twice, and so many of us already have it at 4.5 or whatever. Now, I will say both of these items, I kind of talk out of both sides of my mouth, but both these items are top 10 items. So, I think you might be willing to throw a ticket here, a ticket there, but just take a look at Bam and Gerbs, because these ones, although they're top 10 carts, there might be other carts that might make more sense for you, but I think both of those are solid options. You see them both here with 2 new buffs, with Cactar being number 4 on our list, as I just talked about, and then the Yellow Off-Roader at the bottom of this 2-tier with 21 non-city tracks, 0 cities. So 21 non-city tracks and 0 cities. That's as good as it's going to get for a cart that's been around for that long. Now, of course, Cactar does have 2 more tracks, but they're both cities. So, that kind of just take them as 1A, 1B when it comes to newerish items. Now, of course, both of them have great hitboxes. Both of them came out at the same time. Both of them in packs twice. So I kind of consider them kind of in the same category. Might even nice to just have them right next to each other. But I'm sure you have some stats to drop on there. At least we can talk about in the top 10. A lot of other carts on this list. Just because carts are always getting buffed. We have so many carts. It's tough to not talk about them. But the Cheership, 16 non-city tracks, 0 cities. You got to like that 0 cities. Frostwing, I absolutely love this cart. 14 non-city tracks, 2 cities. You got the Gray Cat Cruiser, Iron Cucumber, the brand new Jukebox Buggy. Interesting there. Luna Cruiser, up to 16 non-city tracks, 2 cities there. The Roaring Racer, aka Merlion, up to 7 non-city tracks, 3 cities there. Sports Coupe 2020. Your boy, the Tiger Bruiser, 10 non-city tracks, 1 city. And then the last one on this list, and my personal favorite, the Vampire Flyer. Although it only has 17 non-city tracks, 3 cities, it's all the perfect tracks. It's literally every track you want. It is number 2 on our list. So get excited to talk about that in our top 10. There's a lot to talk about there. And then we move into the carts with 1 buff. You have the Black Cat Cruiser. It's 18 non-city tracks, 10 cities. That's a lot of tracks. It's 28 tracks. Number 12 on our list, the Black Cat Kabuki Dasher, the Kabuti Dasher, as we used to call it. The 17 non-city tracks, 6 cities. An old school Tokyo cart there that it's been fun. Nice to see it come back. It used to be a really good cart for me back in the day. Got the Brown Off-Roader, as we talked about earlier, great hitbox, not necessarily great coverage, but an older item. We'll see what happens. Candy Clown, Dreamy Egg, Party Time, or Party Bells. Okay, so the newer-ish one. All get a nice little buff there. Nothing too crazy, in the mid-teens. Now you have the Gold Pumpkin Cart, which 24 non-city tracks, 3 cities. A absolutely monster coverage cart, but really, really tiny hitbox. Then you get the Green Bee Dasher, 14 non-city tracks, 8 cities. Jade Hop Rod, the Lime Tea Coupe, the Metal Bee Dasher Mark II. All get a nice little buff there. Unfortunately, the Mark IIs, as we've started to kind of see their value start to pan out, I wouldn't say are great. They get a lot of cities. They're probably in the mid-teens when it comes to non-city tracks. Overall, not quite the explosive value that we wanted. I will say I've kind of, because they all have the same exact hitbox, and it's all pretty large, I've been kind of investing a little bit here and there. I'm starting to kind of wonder why I'm doing that. It's not super helpful when it comes to those tracks, so wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that, even though I'm already halfway there. I think I have like 3 that are already at 6 or above. But those have been useful, but not as useful as I was hoping. Paintster, still a top 10 cart, at number 10 exactly, with 18 on-city tracks, 11 cities. The Pumpkin Cart, as we alluded to earlier, a Womp Womp Cart for sure, 18 non-city tracks, 3 cities. And then with the Romby Runner, the Pack King with 23 non-city tracks, 5 cities. I don't have to tell you, it's an awesome cart. And then we got the Red Crawley Cart. A lot of people love this cart, and I think this is like the perfect example for me of what I was talking about earlier, where you have something at 3, so you're like, I'll just take it to 4, I'll just take it to 5. It's only 2 tickets, it's only 3 tickets. But unfortunately, guys, it's gotten the commemorative curse. It does not have a great number of tracks. It's got 14 tracks, 4 cities. And so you might say, hey, that's relatively comparable with the Vampire Flyer. Yeah, sure, I get that, but it's been half the ranks that the Vampire Flyer has been in. It's got great hitbox, I agree, and it looks beautiful, I agree. But you're just not seeing as much value as you would hope, and I wonder if that's just because it's got this commemorative curse. Only time will tell, so we'll see how we go along the way. Secure Quickshaw, 22 non-city tracks, 4 cities. Number 11 on our list, and then Sleigh Bells, 11 non-city tracks, 2 cities. And your boy, the Tanuki Cart, number 8 on our list. Look at that. A big round 0 city tracks with 22 non-city tracks. I can see why you love it, Antilev. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on all of these buffed carts.
So a couple things to mention. Like I said, Vampire Flyer is finally getting its coverage to a point where you can call it, respectable. Cactar, a yellow off-roader, are continuing to just get crazy buff. They still have like a pretty decent amount of tracks to see. Let me check what I wrote down here. This is the Toad versus Toadette items, right? They still have 40 tracks left to see, so a lot of buff potential there. And they're already at 21, which is, 21 is elite territory. That's phenomenal. So I think they're both really excellent cards. One thing from the two buff, the Grey Cat Cruiser, it got two really paywall buffs. It got the RMX Ghost Valley 1 RT, and it got the RMX Rainbow Road 2 RT. So I could see this one being like the next Purple Bunny. It's maybe a little bit me talking of my own book, but I could see that Grey Cat Cruiser getting a lot of really hard paywall checks. Moving down the list, I would say.
Hey, while you're on that topic, maybe something to ask you later. If you had to just say what's the most, I don't even know if this is a great question, but what's the most paywall track? Like, what's the hardest track to have? Is it always, like the new tours, brand new track? Like in this case, might be, the one that's in ranked or something, or what? Like when you say paywall track, what is it?
The newest tracks. It's usually the newest tracks, but I mean there are, it's tracks where there's no supers or normals, like newer tracks, tracks where the top shelves are not, shop items or clear pipe items, but only like banner stuff or pipe lock stuff. So like a really good example of a heavy paywall track is like I was saying earlier, Wario Shipboard Yard T. All of the drivers, I think, are mostly pipe lock. They're not in all clear pipe. I don't know the cards off the top of my head, but the gliders, there's 6 gliders, all high ends. 4 of them have only ever been in banners. The only way to get them is by paying for them. And the other 2, one is from the Mario Satellaview 100 pipe, and the other one is the Springtime Crane, which was also originally in 100 pipe, in a non-popular 100 pipe. So that's an example of a really heavily paywall track. And like Purple Bunny is a card which has pretty good coverage, but it has a lot of tracks which are paywalled like this.
Thank you for clearing that up. I wonder how many other people have thought that, and I just figured I'd ask for the community. That makes a lot of sense. I know, like when you were.
It's a good point, because we talk about it like everybody knows it. It's basically a paywall track is something which is you can't easily cover without like having a kind of rare item.
Good. No, that helps clear that up. Any thoughts about the? Sorry, I was cutting you off as you were going down the street.
Right. The gold pumpkin. It's like coverage wise, it's the best card in the game right now. It's just that small hitbox. The B Dasher ults. The green B Dasher is now tied for most tracks of all the 7. The Sky Blue also they both got 14 on cities, so that's edging into respectable territory. I think a couple of more buffs, and we can consider them okay cards. Not a whole lot to talk about. Like some nice 1-2 buffs here. Tanuki card, it got 1 Mario Circuits. It's a nice one. 22 non-cities. It's just not in rank that much. So, I can understand why it's kind of flying under the radar. But I mean, coverage-wise, I think it's really cool. But not a whole lot else to say.
Cool, man. Good. We'll get into the gliders then to round out the buffing section. We now have the 8-bit Super Mushroom, number 13 on our list with 20 non-city tracks, 1 city. Nice to see Carlos take that to, I believe, 7 yesterday. Definitely a ballsy move, but I love it. Absolutely love it. Candlelight Flight with 15 non-city tracks, 2 cities. Black Cat Parafoil with 12 non-city tracks, 1 city. Cat Parafoil with 12 non-city tracks, 0 cities. The Galaxy Glider, one of my personal favorites. It's got 15 non-city tracks, 1 city though, so not a huge number, but it has been in ranked quite frequently. The brand new Glinting Parasol with 8 non-city tracks, 2 cities. Gold Toe Beam Balloons with 1 non-city track, 1 city. Luigi Parafoil with 7 non-city tracks, 2 cities. And the Meter Balloons with 1 city, 14 non-cities. So literally all of these gliders relatively brand spanking new. The Cat Parafoil, you might argue, is not really that new, but these are all 2021 or 2022 gliders. Really from that perspective, that's what you expect to get 2 buffs. But solid items there. As for the items that got 1 buff, You got the 8-bit star, the Aurora balloons, the festival wings, your favorite from last tour, the Antilev wings, so I think what we called it. The gold Tanuki parafoil, and then got the golden wings. This is what I want to stop in and kind of mention. 20 non-city tracks, 3 cities, so number 3 on our list. Obviously, any new item that's coming out of a gold pipe, or I guess not gold pipe, special pipe, is going to see decent value. This is obviously leading the charge there. You can't hate on that for sure. Magic parcel. No, I will say, so many items we see in a special pipe, and then they don't get buffed. Or you see something and it's in a pack, and you get it, and then it doesn't see the buff because it's already hyped up its value leading up to that pipe or pack, and then just only to let you down. It's nice to see some of these items that were in the pipe last time, like the glinting parasol, the magic parasol. Some of these items get some nice buffs. That part is a bonus. New Year's 2022, pink gold meteors at 49 city tracks, 3 cities. Ship's wheel, again another special pipe item that we have seen one time since. 20 non-city tracks, 20 non-city tracks, 10 cities, equaling 30 total tracks. Number 5 on our list. It's been a slow and steady climber, which you really like. As compared to one that jumps in and jumps out, and then it's just kind of more erratic. This has been a nice, slow, steady build. And then we have the Silver Surfmaster, an absolute baller glider when you're thinking about how often it's in ranked, how often it's getting all the right buffs. It's even though it's got 12 cities, still a solid glider with a total of 31 total tracks. Awesome job there for the Silver Surfmaster. We talked about this, guys. Nintendo loves black items, and then right below that are silver items. If you get your hands on a silver item or a black item, you're going to be winning. At least that's what the trend was in 2021. In 2020, it was more kind of goldish items. And then we have the Springtime Crane we've talked about a little bit already. It's got 22 non-city tracks, 9 cities. Great rock coverage there. Starry Great Sail. Similar boats, it's got 22 non-city tracks, 9 cities, both number 7 and number 8, respectively, on our list. And then the Vampire Wings, up to 19 non-city tracks, 2 cities, number 11 on our list with the red shell. Angelita, what do you think about these gliders that just got buffed?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple that are getting to like a pretty high number of tracks and like still have some ways to go. Like the 8-bit super. I mean, I think 8-bit items are pretty. There's not one 8-bit glider in the game which is a bad item. They're all very, very good items. So it's up to 20 tracks, and it still has. It came out in the Toad versus Toad Tour, so still 40 tracks left for it to see. So you could easily get to like 24, 25 non-city tracks. I think a disappointing one is the gold Toby and balloons. Even though it got 2 buffs, it's only up to 9 tracks. So I'd like to see a little bit more coming out of that one. Other than that, it's some nice items. It's a little bit rich getting richer here. Some of the stuff that's kind of meta been in rank, Story Grade, Silver Surfmaster, Ship's Wheel. And some stuff that has been in special pipes lately. But yeah, not a whole lot to say. We don't have that many buffs this tour compared to previous ones.
Yeah, good points there. All right, there we go. Those are the new buffed items. I want to make sure we have enough time here to talk a little bit about what was changed in the algorithm, because there were some tweaks specifically in the weighted course value. Everything else relatively the same. We did make a change to the glider weights a little bit back, mainly just trying to get rid of, kind of reduce the skill. It was 15%, now it's 10. It's been 10 now for, I think, the second or third tour. But want to talk a little bit about the improvement we've made to the weighted coverage value. You want to take it away, Antilev?
Yeah, so the weighted course value, what it does, so course coverage value is basically just like the number of tracks that you have, non-city tracks that you have. The weighted course value assigns a percentage weight to the types of courses based on how often they appear in ranked. Now, previously we had RTs a little bit artificially discounted because we generally consider RTs to be not valuable as an NRT coverage, but actually if you measure the times that the type of courses that are in ranked, RTs are in ranked the most of any type of course at a 33% rate. That means 33% of all ranked courses are RTs. So what we did was we just put that into the weighting for weighted course value. So RTs go up from 23 to 33%, and the biggest one that went down, I think, was Ns, went down from 26 to 21%. So items that have a lot of N normal track coverage will take a little bit of a hit, and then some items who have a lot of RTs will see some boost. So if you see some movement in the rankings, and we'll get to some specific examples of that, that's the reason why. But yeah, just because we've been seeing RTs a lot more in ranked recently, we had to up the weight there.
Yeah, and again, we're just moving from 23% to 33%, so it is a 10-point swing. But at the same point in time, it should basically move stuff around. So you'll see a lot of arrows going up and down, but it doesn't really change the meta level strategy as much as just being aware that, at least from your perspective, that RTs are no longer this red-headed stepchild. It is a formidable opponent when it comes to its regular trick brother and reverse sister. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. You're going to see a lot of arrows up and down, but we'll go through it all together, guys. All right. Top 10 drivers. As we alluded to, Yoshi Kangaroo at our number 1 spot. It went up 6 spots. So that's a huge jump to get into that number 1. Antilev's probably going to give us really good data there. But again, this list, guys, just to put this, I want to put this disclaimer on every single time. I know some people bring it up. We could have Coinbox drivers as our top 10 and just have the same 10, and then maybe move Meowser up as he becomes more popular, and then he's number 1, and then Rosalina. Guys, that would be pretty boring, and that's fine. We could do that. But I think what we did is a little bit more on the data side. If you aren't necessarily focused just on Coinboxers and Lucky 7 and Boomerang, which we highly recommend you doing, with the skill still pretty heavily valued, I think everyone on this list probably has a really, really good odds of being in ranked next tour or the tour after. And literally, as we say this, they're in ranked. You can see it with Penguin Mario, Peach Happy, Waluigi Vampire, Peach Explorer, Tanuki Rosalina. They're in ranked probably every other ranked for the last, however many tours they've been out. So I think from that perspective, this list is a solid list if you just care about ranked and that's all you care about. I think if you really do want to go for the meta, definitely invest in Coinbox. If you're having to pick between Penguin Mario or, say King Bob-omb Gold or something like that, still kind of probably recommend King Bob-omb Gold unless you really like penguins, which nothing wrong with that. But I would just highly recommend. I always add that caveat to this list. Got Peach Happy at 3, up 2 spots, as we talked about. Kamek, unfortunately, was the one who saw the most brunt. And Anthony, I'm sure you'll tell us why. Went down 3 spots. It's number 4 on our list, which, man, I really hope he goes back up because he is an awesome driver. We do have Builder Toadette up 1 spot to number 5. Tanuki Rosalina at number 6, down 4 spots. And also, Black Berta went down 4 spots at number 7. So they kind of were holding hands as they both fell. Waluigi Vampire, huge, massive jump, up 10 spots to number 8 on our list. Shy Guy Ninja up 1 spot to number 9. No Nui to our top 10 list. And then Peach Explorer, down 2 spots to number 10. As we round out the top 15, Donkey Kong Jr. SNES was in the top 10. Now he just fell. I think it was number 8 last tour, which kind of stinks, but still a solid driver to invest in. Mario Saddle View climbing as well. Cat Toad at number 13. Luigi Painter at 14. And then Dry Bones Gold, man. He is still hanging on to that top 15 spot. Arguably one of the best classic Coinboxers. And still, even despite all this algorithm change, he's still crushing this top 15. Antilev, what are your thoughts on the top 10 drivers?
So the first thing that we need to mention is the top 6 is a really tight range. So you see these big movements: Yoshi up 6, Kamek down 3, Tanuki Rosalina down 4. They're all within a range of 2 points under score out of 100. So okay, Gamak went down 3, but he didn't actually move that much. It's just the drivers above him all got like a bit of a buff. Like Yoshi got 2 new tracks, so he got buffed, so he went up a lot in ranking wise. And Tanuki Rosalina, like scoring wise, she did not really go down any categories. Her ranked score dropped a little bit. So 4 spots going down, but yeah, her actual score didn't not decrease that much. Other than that, yeah, Happy Peach is still. I say this every week, but she's still getting carried by her ranked appearances. She's in ranked and she got above, so she goes up. Builder Toadette, this is one coming from the algo change. As we know, Builder Toadette is one of those sort of trick tour themed item. She only has T and RT tracks, so she has a lot of RTs. So she didn't get a buff or anything, but because of that algo change, she actually manages to avoid falling and then actually rises a spot. Shy Guy Ninja is up 1. So he got a new track. He got buffed again. Number 2 in raw coverage now. I think only behind Explorer Peach. Number 6 in weighted coverage. He's 49th in ranked appearances. So he just disappeared from ranked, but his coverage is so good, and he's got that good boomerang skill. He's got the staying power, so I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. Waluigi Vampire is up 10 spots. So he's number 3 in ranked appearances, number 10 in raw coverage, and number 11 in weighted coverage. Where he really gets hurt is he's 33rd in Coinbox overlap. He's got 22 non-city tracks. There's only 6 of them that don't have a Coinbox driver on there. So I mean, like, it depends on what your account is. He's got great comfort, but you might not get that much utility out of him because his tracks are so dominated by Coinboxes. Yeah, I think I already mentioned Stellaview. I really like him. I don't know, his Coinbox overlap score is really high. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I don't. There's too much to say.
Okay, fair enough. We'll get into kart buffs or kart top 10. This is an interesting conversation. At least we were having kind of in the ER server. About great karts, and I think if you have any of these karts and you've invested pretty well, you're sitting pretty happy. I would say, in general, there's a lot of people taking karts to 7. We got a lot of kart tickets, and I think there's so many great karts. I will say, I think there's like a cluster of great karts to invest in. I would say I put them in like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and 1E. And I kind of have to put Silver King at that 1A. Vampire Flyer, kind of like you see on the list, is 1B. I'd probably put Yellow Off-Roader as 1C with Rhymby Runner at 1D, and then finally Cactar at like that 1E. So kind of like they're all great. You can invest in any one of those, and it is a great investment. However, I would highly recommend you take a look at the Bam and Gerb spreadsheet and deciding from there which one of those 4 to invest in, because I think any one of those would be great to triple and cap, take to level 7, let that be your dominant cart there. But I think it's worth you taking a look and making sure that that's the right move for your account. But again, any one of those, phenomenal move. The ones that are split, trickled in there, you see Kamek's Zoom Broom at number 3. It's down 1 spot to make room for the Vampire Flyer. It's a great coverage. It's got great numbers there with weighted coverage and course coverage, but it drives funky. And so from that perspective, again, that doesn't hurt its list algorithm, anything like that. But for me, I'm not going to invest in it for that reason. It's too difficult to handle. The hitbox isn't great necessarily. Just not. I don't. For me personally, that matters a lot to me. We talked about the Cactar going up 5 spots, number 4 on our list. All these ones I mentioned, great hitbox, great coverage, and has been an awesome cart in the game. Rumby Runner been around probably the longest out of the 4 or 5 that I mentioned, but still doing really, really well. It's number 5 on our list, down 2 spots. Yellow Off-Roader, although it went down 1, you heard it there. It doesn't have any cities. A phenomenal cart that when it comes to hitbox. It's going to be the one that I'm keeping my eye on, but I decided to go with Silver King first. Remember, you heard on the rundown last time, I was debating between Silver King and Yellow Off-Roader. I just had to go Silver King, guys. That was I pulled the trigger. I'm going with that direction. but I'm keeping my eye on the yellow off-roader. We'll see what happens. And then as we run out the list, the gold pumpkin cart up 5 spots could potentially easily climb as well, as we talked about it being in that special pipe. Your Tanuki cart at number 8, holding down that spot. Black Turbo Birdo and also the Painter both fell 3 spots to number 9 and 10 respectively. And then as we round out the top 15, Secure Quick Shot at 11, Black Cat Cruiser at 12, Iron Cucumber at 13, Crawley Cart at 14, Rose Taxi at 15. Antel, what are your thoughts on these top 10 carts?
Yes, so the Silver King, I think we mentioned last week, it was like Epson blowing away the competition. Everything else this is the first time, everything else has caught up a little bit. This is the first time, and I can't even remember that it didn't get a buff. It's in ranked again, but it didn't get a new track. So the other cards are kind of closing. It still has a comfortable lead, but it's not like 12 points ahead or whatever we said it was last time. Okay, let's start with the Vampire Flyer. Number 1 in size, number 3 in ranked. It got 2 buffs, so that moved it up in the coverage stats a lot, but it's still not a top 15 card in terms of coverage. It's 25th in course coverage value. It's 35th in weighted coverage value. It's still lagging some of these other newer big cards, but because it isn't ranked so much, because it's so huge, it gets that number 2 spot. The Cactar is another interesting one, made a big jump. It has 9 RT, so it also got 2 buffs, but it also got a big benefit from the algo change. It went from 37th to 6th in weighted coverage value based on the buffs and also the algo change. That's a really good example. So like, and yellow off-roader also got 2 buffs and it went down a spot. So how is this possible? Yeah, like it just because everything above it got like buffed more or was like already more above it. But yellow off-roader is really being held back by the fact that it's not in rank that much. It's 37th in ranked appearances. Yeah, so if it starts getting in ranked, watch out. It could easily see it becoming the number 1 card right now. It's got really good everything else. 11th in weighted coverage, 8 in raw coverage, and number 1, tied for number 1 in size. Gold pumpkin, it's good in ranked, it's good in coverage, it's got the best raw coverage and the second best weighted coverage in the game. It is 189th in card size out of 198 cards in the game. So there are a couple of smaller cards, but you have to look really hard to find them. It is tiny. And then Rambi Runner also buffed, but again, everything above it got buffed more or like because of algo change, whatever. It's pretty stable. It's 7th in raw coverage, 3rd in weighted coverage, and 8th in ranked appearances, and it's a big card, so it's not like it got worse. It's just everything above it got kind of better.
Yeah, you know what? The last thing I'll add, because this will be I think the 3rd rundown that I'll mention this. I do not see the Vampire Flyer being behind in tracks compared to its to the other carts that came around it. I see this as a plus. In my opinion, yeah, it doesn't have as many tracks, but I think that if it keeps getting ranked tracks, I'm good with it holding back. If you just give me 1 track a tour and that's a ranked track, and just do it for 20 tours, I'm happy, man. So I don't see that as, in my opinion, I don't see it as negative. Now, you might see it as negative as like, hey, once that ranked well dries up, you're going to be left with not that many tracks. And I understand that. I think that's a valid point. But for me...
Well, I mean, yeah, but what is not that many? I mean, it's a 17 right now. That's all right,
Yeah,
it's just not like spectacular.
It's behind compared to the yellow off-roader and the Cactar, just to be, if you're looking at it that way. But I think that the fact that it's behind on tracks, in my opinion, is a good thing, because it could get more tracks. It could get Charging Chuck in L.A. It might get the Sky Track. Who knows what it'll get? But if I'm going to put my money on that or Silver King, I would guess that the Vampire Flyer has probably higher odds of getting a new track than Silver King.
Okay. Vampire Flyer PR spokesman has spoken.
Well, hey man, it's not too late to jump on the bandwagon. It's my point in all this. I've been driving that bandwagon since it came out. So
just a mention of what is left for these carts to see. Silver King only has 6 tracks left to see. That's Rock Mountain, all 3 variants, and 3 different RTs. The Tanuki cart has 24 tracks left to see.
Wow.
Halloween items, so that's Vampire Flyer and Gold Pumpkin, 28 tracks left to see, and the Toad versus Toadette, so that's Yellow Off-Roader and Cactar, 40 tracks left to see. So a lot of buff potential for Yellow Off-Roader and Cactar still.
Okay, hey, that's really good. It's really helpful, and I think that really that's could shoot Yellow Off-Roader or Cactar up the list. I will say that Silver King, even though it doesn't have that many tracks left to see, those Rock Mountains, I could see it getting buffed on that just because of the style and kind of meeting that criteria there. All right, cool. Last for the top 10 is the gliders. We still got the Dream Glider holding down that number 1. You saw all the Kamek stuff in the top 5. You got the Silver Surf Master still at number 2. So those are number 1 and number 2. Maybe you can look up to see what the difference in points between them are and compared to the field. But then we also got Golden Wings up 3 spots to number 3. The 8-Bit Fire Flower fell down 1 spot to number 4. Ship's Wheel up 2 to number 5. Black Great Sail, oh boy, fell 1 spot to number 6. I hope this doesn't continue. We got Springtime Crane down 3 spots to number 7. Starry Great Sail up 1 spot to 8. Black Toe Beam Balloons down 1 spot to number 9. And then the 8-Bit Bill. This might be maybe the second time that it's broke our top 10. It's up 2 spots, but it does have some overlap with Black Great Sail, just to keep them back in mind. Vampire Wings at number 11. Silver Manta Glider, former top 10 at number 12. 8-Bit Super Mushroom, as we talked about, on the rise at number 13. Glinting Glider, a lot of fan favorite at number 14. And then the You Got a Ribbon, ugliest glider in the game, in my opinion, at number 15. So, Antilev, tell us about your thoughts on these top 10 gliders.
Yes, so as you were saying, like Dream Glider is still comfortably in the lead. It's 5 points ahead of the Silver Surf Master and 8 points ahead of Golden Wings. So it's still got some separation there. Excuse me. The Silver Surf Master, still not an elite card coverage-wise. It's 30th in raw coverage and 18th in weighted coverage, but it is the number 1 ranked glider in the game, and it has the coverage it does have is really useful. I actually double capped this glider this tour because it's in ranked again, and it gave me like 7 upgrades, the most defending glider. It feels really hard to really hard to cover tracks. The Ship's Wheel. That actually got a slight penalty from the algo buff, but because of its other buff, then it went up from 24th to 15th in raw coverage. That's number 3 in ranked, so that holds steady. Golden Wings, that was a beneficiary of the algo change. It went from 26th to 14th in weighted coverage value. Everything else was relatively stable, slight improvements, 7th to 5th in ranked and 15th to 13th in raw coverage, but that is the reason it's up 3 spots. Mostly the algo change and a bit of a buff. Vampire Wings is that number 11. That one it jumped, because it's not on there. The Vampire Wings went 8 spots, and that is mostly due to going from 29th to 15th in ranked. Everything else, it got a buff, but the coverage stats are not really that much changed. And 8-Bit Mushroom is up 15 spots. That is a massive jump. It got help from everywhere. It went up in ranked, it went up in raw coverage because it got 2 buffs, and it went from 55th to 11th in weighted coverage because it has 8 RTs and it got 2 buffs. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on. I can see it being top 10 next tour. 8-Bit Fireflower, that one actually increased in its weighted coverage from 2nd first, but it's dropped out of ranked. It's 23rd in ranked appearances, so that's the reason why it fell a little bit.
Wow.
That's basically all I have.
I think it's in ranked this week. I've been toying with double and capping it. But I promised I'd look at Bam and Gerbs first, so I'm going to be looking at that, keeping my eye there. But yeah, that 8-Bit Super Mushroom, if you have to put tickets on it, I know you might be in that similar situation for ranked, I believe, next week.
Yeah, on that Wario Shipyard.
On that Wario Shipyard, man. So. I'm with you. I'm keeping my eye on that one. That one will be probably the one I pull the trigger on. Mainly just from this episode. So thank you for looking into that. You talked a little bit about some of the movers and shakers already, but we'll kind of finish what we didn't cover so far. Penguin Toadette up 20 spots to 46. Purple Cooper Free Running up 17 spots to 102, which is kind of the range, pretty normal for supers. I just said normal and supers together. Sorry, it's pretty average for a super. Builder Luigi up 16 spots to number 40. Luigi Vacation, obviously being brand spanking new, up 16 spots to number 73. So each of these numbers mean that the last tour they were this rank and now they're this rank. So it kind of gives you a little bit more purview outside of our top 10. Daisy Swimwear up 14 spots to 28. Meowser, huge jump there, up to number 20. So he is now in the top 20 already. We'll see how high he climbs. It's just a matter of time probably before he's in our top 10 and potentially even number 1. We'll see. Mario Halloween up 12 spots to number 45. Wario Cowboy up 11 spots to 57. Waluigi Vampire, as we talked about, huge, massive jump to number 8, 10 spots there. Catalina at 70 after 10 spots as well. As we move into karts, we got the Jukebox Buggy, the brand new karts alongside Sunshine Mario that was paid well last tour. I know I saw ThisBeChris take him up to level 7 in our server. Absolute monster move, but it does have a medium-ish to maybe even below average hitbox, but absolutely beautiful. The way it shines and everything, like it's got to be so much fun using that cart. Got the Cheer Ship up now 41 spots to number 57. That's a huge jump. Both of those are huge jumps. Still newish though. We'll see how it goes for the both of them. Sports Coupe up 21 spots to 70. Your Tiger Bruiser, nice little 20 jump there to number 79. We'll see if the Tiger Bruiser Meowser kind of has similar Kamek / Zoom Broom / Dream Glider type of treatment. We'll see how that turns out. We got the Frostwing up 19 spots to 44. Dreamy Egg 16 spots to 92. That's 92 is not good, by the way, to what you were saying earlier. Pumpkin Cart, not good either, at 86, up 15 spots. Brown Off-Roader, 14 spots to 22, so it's just on the side of the top 20, mainly because the hitbox is helping it. Gray Cat Cruiser, 13 spots to 99. And then Clanky Cart, up 13 spots to 106. So some nice movement from the carts. And then finally to the gliders. Black Cat Parafoil, 51 now after the 23-point jump. The 8-bit Super Mushroom, this is what we were referring to earlier, up 15 spots to number 13, potentially climbing more. A really, really hot item to be able to invest in. Candlelight Flight up 11 spots to 31. Meteor Balloons up 11 spots to 42. Galaxy Glider up 11 spots to 44. I was hoping it would be higher than that, but it's 44. Gold Penguin Wingtip up 10 spots to 98. And Cat Parafoil right behind it at 99. Both of those not great, especially for gliders. Gold Tanuki Parafoil up 9 spots to 34. That's pretty good. 34 is climbing. We'll see how high it goes. Safety Glider, 9 spots to 59. And then Blizzard Balloons up 9 spots to 71. What are your thoughts on all these movers and shakers?
Yeah, so looking at the drivers, I think, Meowser, we're all keeping an eye on him. He's 20th in only his 3rd tour. It's definitely a future number 1. His coverage, he's only got 12 tracks, and he's rated 20th best driver in the game. That's crazy. If you have him and you have the tickets, there's almost no risk to maxing him out. He will be in ranked. will get more tracks. He's got already, some more exclusives than most of the Coinbox drivers. Safe investment. Daisy Swimwear, she went from 20th to 15th in ranked due to being in ranked this tour, and she got some better Coinbox overlap, a little bit up 12 spots in the Coinbox overlap rankings. She got some non-Coinbox track as her buff. Looking at the Karts, the Frostwing got 2 nice buffs. I think it's RMX Rainbow Road 1R, and what was the other one? The SNES Vanilla Lake 1RT, which is in rank this week. Those are both Coinbox driver tracks, and Frostwing is a nice big cart, so very nice buffs for that one. It's at 14 non-city tracks right now, and it's pretty new, so keep an eye on it. I think that one's a feature star. Like I said, the Grey Cat Cruiser, already mentioned that it's got 2 pretty heavy paywalls, and one that's not on here, the Dozer Dasher, went up 9 spots because of the algorithm change. She went from 35th to 9th in weight course value. Looking at the gliders, safety gliders, the same kind of story. It's a heavy TRT glider, so it didn't get, but its rise is basically due down to that algorithm change. And then there's one that's not on here, which is a faller. The Dark Hop Rod went down 9 spots. Its bad coverage is catching up to it. It fell from 6th to 16th in ranked because some ranked appearances fell out of the window, and it doesn't have very many non-city tracks, so look for that one to fall even further in the future.
Wow.
Yeah, that's basically all I'd say.
Appreciate you covering that, man. Yeah, I think there was the Frostwing looks pretty interesting to me. We'll see what happens from there, but yeah,
we're in a winter celebration, so it doesn't so wintry, but maybe we have more. Maybe Frappe Snowland is coming back. Maybe we get Vanilla Lake 1 coming back, or whatever. I don't know. More like Snow, DK Summit. We didn't see yet. So if we get those tracks, if it goes from like 14 to like 18 or 19, could be a really solid card.
Yeah, good point. Even though this winter celebration is the least winterish celebration I've ever seen. So, with an LA tour and a Sky. All right, so now we're getting into the All Cup ranking MVPs. These are the items you will use the most if you're going for All Cup ranking. The number along the side are the number of tracks you will use it for if you have it at a high level. I believe at level 6 for All Cup ranking. So as you see there, the only one you'd be using 10 times is the Wario mustache. This is the one, probably why Reddy and KnightRoso, ThisBeChris invested in it because it is used 10 times. I know Reddy specifically is going for a top 10 run. We'll wish him the best. Then we have a couple items used 9 times. Wario Cowboy, My Vampire Flyer, Cheership, Waluigi's mustache, and then the Vampire Wings. So good to know there. With the items used 8 times, we got Peach Explorer and Waluigi Vampire, 2 Bob-omb Cannon drivers. We got the Jukebox Buggy, and then the Candlelight Flight. So nice options there at 8. And then for the drivers that you will use 7 times, we have Yoshi Kangaroo, Mario Satellite View, Luigi Vacation. Hopefully when I get to 3 more kart tickets, or maybe I won't because my shop's still shut down, but I'm really hoping I do. We'll be using the Silver King 7 times, along with, I won't be using Cheer Mellow, that's for sure. Daisy Glider and the Pink Gold Meteors round out the number of items being used 7 times for All Cup ranking. Anything you want to add to that, Antilev?
He's not on here because he just misses the cut with 6 All Cup ranking appearance. But the most appearing Coinbox driver is Meowser. He's on 6 tracks. And he's in rank twice if you have him at level 6 with Bowser's Capsule T unlock and on Neo Bowser City R in week 2.
Love it, man. Glad Meowser's getting so much love. He's obviously an awesome character with an awesome hitbox and an awesome skill. For the rank tracks, these are the tracks that you would get unlocked by having it at a certain level. So really, really helpful to know for just ranked. So week 1, we have the Wario Cup. There's nothing being unlocked for the Wario Shipyard. And the purpose of this segment There's some items that you have to have at like level 2 to know that it would be unlocked to level 3, or that have a level 5 to know it's going to be unlocked to level 6. And other than that, you're just going to look at the picture and just hope that you remember it when you open it up. So that's what we're trying to shine light on. For Bowser's Castle T, you have Meowser being unlocked to level 6. Definitely the one you're going to want to use. There are some other options, but I think Meowser is going to be your best bet. You also have the gold toe beam balloons unlocked at level 6 as well. For Vanilla Lake 1RT, so many options. You have Builder Luigi at level 3, Donkey Kong even at level 3, Baby Mario at level 6. So a lot of options there that you might have at a higher level. You obviously have a normal in there. You got a super. And then when you look at Karts, you got the Dozer Dasher at level 3, the Quick Shot at level 3, the Steel Driver at level 3, and then the Mushmallow at level 6. So 4 options there in addition to all the other options you have there. And the Cloud Glider at level 6. So this is a maybe not the most fun track, but it's an oldie but a goodie. A lot of options there for you. As we look at week 2, we have Waluigi Cup with a couple options on the Remix Rainbow Road 1. We got Luigi Painter at level 3, Bowser Jr. Pirate, and Dry Bowser Gold at level 6. So none of these really making too big of a move. I'd say Luigi Painter being the most prominent of the 3. And then a good number of selections on Karts. You have the Painter and the Party Wing at level 3. You have the Black Kabuki Dasher at and the Gold Pipe Frame and Rose Queen all at level 6. Then when we look at gliders, we got the Golden Wings and the Planet Glider at level 3. The Butterfly Sunset, Cheap Masks, and Treasure Map at level 6. So some common items there. So I think Rainbow Road 1, you're probably going to have a pretty good selection of options there. As we look at Wario Shipyard T, only one thing is unlocked at level 6. That's what we've been harping on this entire segment here. Wario's Mustache at level 6. And then Neo Bowser R. Got a lot of option here, guys. You got Shy Guy Ninja at level 3. Dry Bowser Gold at level 6. Crimson Hot Rod at level 3. Roaring Racer at level 3. Blue Badwagon at 6. Gold Egg at 6. And 2 gliders at level 6. The Soaring Jack and the Surf Master. So got a couple old tracks here mixed in for ranked between the 2 weeks, and then obviously the new ones. But we'll see. What are your thoughts on some of these ranked options here, Antilev?
Yeah, there's not really anything specific there that sticks out to me a little bit. Like I was saying before, the Meowser unlock at level 6 on Bowser's Castle T is massive. He's the only Coinbox driver there, I believe. So if you're able to do that, it's definitely worth it for rank this week. I think it will come down to a lot of to who has him level 6 and who doesn't. For my free-to-play account, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get there. I got him to level 4, but I just don't have tickets.
Well, between the Token Shop and Prima Challenge and everything else going on, this might be a tour where you have more tickets to finally take him to at least 6. Highly recommend it. Antilev, I'll be praying for your shot, man. For the double features, triple features, these are the items with multiple use for ranked, meaning that when you unlock it at level 3 and 6 and looking at all of the tracks, which one would one investment be equal to 2? Or 3 investments if you're looking at just ranked and trying to get those precious ranked rubies. We have Wario Cowboy being the most with 3 tracks, all of them at level 1. Then you have a number of drivers that are unlocked that have it on have 2 tracks for ranked. Be Mario Halloween, Luigi Vampire, and Rosalina Aurora. All have 2 tracks at level 2. Here's where we're getting a little tricky. We got Builder Luigi. He has 1 at level 1. And one track unlocked at level 3 that we just referred to earlier. Meowser, you got this level 1 unlock, and then we just talked about that Bowser's Castle T unlocks at level 6, which makes a total of 2. And then Dry Bowser Gold, interesting there. 2 level 6, 2 level 6 tracks there for a total of 2. Nice little throw for him. Then for Karts, we have all just 2. We have. Geez, what is that? It looks like 6 or 7 that are all level 1. So we got Cactar, Pumpkin Cart, Vampire Flyer, Cheer Ship, Gold Pumpkin Cart, Jukebox Buggy, Rumby Runner, Dreamy Egg, all have 2 tracks at level 1. Then we have Party Wing, which at level 3 you have an unlocked track, and then Roaring Racer, you have the Neo Bowser unlocked at level 3. For gliders, we got a decent number of unlocked at level 2. No level 3s here for gliders. You got the 8-Bit Star, Pink Gold Meteors, Silver Surf Master, Vampire Wings, and Nabbit Oil Paper Umbrella, which we haven't talked about today. All of those have a level 1 2 tracks. Then we get a little tricky. We have the Golden Wings and the Planet Glider, both with a level 1 and a level 3 unlocked track. And then we have a couple of these that have, 4 to be specific, that have 1 at level 1, 1 track at level 1, and then 1 at level 6. We talked about Wario's Mustache being the most prominent, and obviously being new. Butterfly Sunset, and Cloud Glider, and Cheap Masks. All have 2 tracks, 1 unlocked at level 6, and then 1 unlocked to level 1. So there you go, guys. There's the multiple rank to use. Antilev, you want to add to anything there?
No, not really. But one interesting thing to notice, there's only 1 triple, and the rest are all just doubles, and a big part of it is because we don't have a lot of new items this tour. Usually you get triples or even rare quadruples because of new items who also have like spotlight boosts. And if you look at Wario Cowboy, one of his 3 tracks is spotlight boost. That's Bowser's Castle D. He gets a spotlight boost at top shelf.
Really helpful to know. All right, guys. Well, that was our episode. An hour and 50 minutes in. We had a lot of fun. Talked a lot of meta level strategy. I think we covered everything that I wanted to. But please, if you enjoyed this, just take 1 second before you leave. Click that like button. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. We'd love for you to be able to see these videos, especially as we're kind of erratic. We try to record these on Thursdays and send them out on Fridays after we do some editing and stuff. So sometimes they're around lunchtime, sometimes they're after dinner, at least here in the United States. And just you get notifications, especially if you click that little bell. So it would help us if you subscribed, but not in the end of the world if you don't. But at least like it, we'd appreciate that. And then if you want to find out about our memberships in our member-only server, we do have a contest coming up in February for our Member Monday multiplayer, where the winner of that will be able to join Antilev and I for the rundown in March. So that'll be fun. Overall, we had a blast with fantasy football. Congratulations again to Aussie Kart. We have a lot of fun in the server in general. And who knows? I think I like to do some of these tour reveals or tour reactions with at least the members. So I want to record those every single time. Sometimes release them to the general public, but at least give it to the members, just to give them one more reason to continue supporting the channel. I love our members. We love them so much. So thank you guys all for watching and tuning in. We'll probably catch you on some of the strats of the week. I probably won't be doing a pull video on Sunday or anything. So that'll probably be the next time you check us out. But Antilev, thank you for joining us. Anything else you want to say before we head out?
No, my pleasure. It was fun.
All right, guys. Well, good luck. Anyone going for All Cup ranking, we wish you the best of luck. Good luck in ranked. And until we see you guys, may the frenzy luck be with you. See you guys.